Good morning, beautiful men and women of God. It is Tuesday, it's 11:30, and you know what we do on Tuesdays at 11:30, honey. We go live with this word. Today we have a word in store for you, so just come on in here, come on in here. I'm going to give you the title. You might have already seen it on the post. The title of the message today is Be So Epic. Be so epic, EPIC. Be so epic that you go viral. Hey, Abdul, good morning, sir. How you doing? Be so epic that you go viral. Hey, Pamela, good morning. Y'all on early. Y'all know I love y'all. Y'all are on early this morning. Y'all, we're going to get into this word. As I was listening to this, I'm on this recording. It's called Clubhouse. And Clubhouse has this Breakfast of Champions. And I was in the room this morning. I was listening to it. And they were bringing up these different quotes. And they were bringing up these quotes from Tony Robinson, and it hit me in a minute. I said, you know what? Wait a minute. We've been going through the Bible. Y'all, so far we went from Genesis all the way to Song of Solomon. Honey, Song of Solomon blessed us last week, and we were in that word. And you know, I used to be a high school teacher, and in corporate, I'm also a trainer, and those of you know that I'm now a certified coach. And I said, you know what? Wait a minute now. Every now and then, you Tab, you know what we do. We pause for the call so that we can make sure people are getting the application. That's the word for today, the application out of what we've done so far. So today and the next 2 weeks, the Lord willing, what we're going to do is we're going to reach back into a couple of books of the Bible, and we're going to pull out some application. The message today is be so epic that you go viral. And before I get into this word today, and remember today is about application, so honey, I need you to get some pen and some paper together so that you can get some nuggets. Hey there, Miss Victoria, so you can get some nuggets. But before we do, I got a little something I want to play for you. It's just 1 minute long. It's just 1 minute long. Hold on, let me cue the music. Let me cue the music, and I want y'all to listen in real good, real good. Now here we go, here we go. Can y'all hear that? You can bounce with it. It's okay. Y'all feel that? We going somewhere with it. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Oh, yeah. Y'all can move. We going somewhere with it this morning. You can move. You ready? You ready? Come on. Come on. We're going somewhere this morning. We're going somewhere, baby. Yes. We got one more. One more. Give it all you got. Bounce with it. Come on. What is she doing? What is she doing? Hey. Honey, I had to play that this morning because I was looking at it and I said, y'all, it was something about it. As I was getting ready for this application mode, the coach in me came out. And the coach came out, and y'all know my sons used to play football, and then the football mom came out, and I began to think of that chant that they would do in the locker room, we ready. Well, that particular chant, let me give you some history on it there. Hey, big sister, that this particular chant, it's a high school video that went viral. Now, the message for today is be so epic that you go viral. That particular video is on YouTube. It was posted on November the 23rd of 2016. In that moment, from now up until today's date, it has had 10,982,565 views. Yes, yes, yes. It went viral. And I was doing some research on this word. What does it mean to be epic? You know, it's an urbanized word, if you will. Epic means to be so grand, to be so marvelous, to be so heroic, to be so extraordinary, to be so important and impressive that you go viral. It says this particular video, y'all, went viral. And as I was looking at this, I had to do some research because they were in the locker room during halftime. And I said, wow, they're in this locker room. And one young man started out the chant, we He started out the chant, right? And then the other kids, they begin to catch it, and then they begin to feel it. And before you know it, y'all, they was up, they was dancing. But I wanted to know, how did the story end? Did they win the game? And I began to go through the comments, and I got a little trouble because y'all know how social media can do. I was reading those comments, and some of the comments were, like they were all hyped up, but they didn't win the game. Yeah, they weren't actually ready. They did all that preparation, and I was like, wow, we can be so mean. And these were high school students. But then God began to process my mind. Y'all know how he does. He started processing and turning that thing. He said, Tab, today you're going to talk about application. And you mentioned that you were in Clubhouse this morning and you heard these videos and you heard this quote that was going on. And he said, today I want to introduce to you this thing called mindset. Oh, baby, let me tell you about mindset. Because what I realized is that whether they won the game or not, whether people made these negative comments or not, what they cannot take away from this young man, what they cannot take away from this high school team, is that they posted a video that went viral. They were so epic, they were so grand and extraordinary and impressive that they had the courage and the pump to step out on faith in the middle of the game, not at the end when they won, but in the middle during halftime to say, you know what, we ready. And I have this question that I want to ask you this morning. Are you fearful to step out and be epic? Are you fearful to go viral? Honey, I need you to shake that off this morning. What is the mindset that you have today? You see, one of the quotes that they talked about, one of the quotes, and they quoted Tony Robinson. You know, he's this motivational speaker. And one of the quotes, he says, nothing has meaning except for the meaning that we give it. Let me repeat that one more time. Nothing has meaning except for the meaning that we give it. And I want to ask you, the things that you've been dealing with in life, the things that have been crossing your path, crossing your mind, crossing your spirit, crossing your heart, what kind of meaning have you given to it? He has this other quote, and it says that life doesn't happen to you, it happens for you. See, sometimes we go through life and we go through as victims. We go through life and this happened to me, and this person did this to me, and this job did this to me. And what Tony Robinson says is, nah, baby, I need you to step in a place of being ready. I need you to step into the driver's seat. I need you to step into the quarterback position and say, we ready for this thing called life right here. And you know, as I begin to talk about this thing called viral, I had to do some more research. I said, wait a minute now, God, this is our inspirational Tuesdays. It's when we pull in the word of the Lord. And he said, well, don't you think that in the book of the Bible that I have instruments and tools and resources so that you can be ready? Jesse, your co-worker, ready? Y'all ready? Come on, let's get up in here. He said, don't you think that I have tools for you guys? And I said, Lord, now let me do some research on this thing right here. You say this word of the Lord, over 50 years and counting. So far, it is the only book of its kind that has the most sold records. You see, and I said records because it's record breaking. 3.9 billion copies of the word of the Lord have been purchased. And it's the most recognized, the most famous book that's ever been published out there. And I said, Lord, your word is so epic that it went viral. And I want to ask you this question this morning. Are you ready to go viral? Are you ready to be epic? Are you ready to be grand? Are you ready to be extraordinary? Are you ready to step into the shoes of that high school young man that said, you know what, in the middle of the game, I think that we're ready. In the middle of life, I think that we got this. Are you ready? That's the question I have for you this morning. And I want to take you through application mode. Now, for some of y'all, that's a dirty word, but can I tell you, if you just read this thing and you don't apply this thing, you're not going to get nothing out of this thing. But today, baby, we're going to pause for the cause and we're going to hit just a couple of books. We're going to start off with Genesis, because Genesis gave us some tools so that we could be so epic that we could go viral. You see, let me take you to Genesis. Genesis chapter number 12, verse 5. Just one verse I want you to lock into. It says, verse number 3, I'm sorry. It says, verse number 3, chapter 12, the Lord was saying to the people, he said, I will bless those who bless you, and I will curse him who curses you. That's all we need right there. I will bless those that bless you. I will curse him who curses you. It seems like God was putting in, hey there, Billy, he was putting in some situations. He was putting in some domino impacts. He was putting in a formula for us to grasp. He was saying that, look, I need you to catch on to this thing. I need you to be ready. He was saying, I will bless those who bless you. I will curse those who curse you. So the question I have is that if God is telling us he blesses people that blesses us, don't you know that if you reverse this formula around, if you start blessing people, that means it applies to you as well. Honey, Billy, God will start blessing you, because when you bless people, he blesses you. So the question that I have, so that I can know is if you're ready, is who are you blessing? Who have you been blessing? Let me tell you, the way that you go epic, the way that you go viral, is that you get into this posture, into this position where you say, you know what, God, I understand how you do your work. And you said that if I bless, then you bless. But if I curse, then you curse. So what I've decided is, because I want the blessings to fall down on me, I want to be ready to receive all of those blessings that come out of the windows of heaven. Lord, let me start blessing so that we can get this thing in motion. See, we're midway through life. Hey there, Keisha, good morning. And some of us haven't been blessing enough. Now, I know you counted it up. I blessed so-and-so because I gave them a couple of coins. I blessed so-and-so because I gave them some advice. I blessed so-and-so because I gave them a ride. Let me tell you about this high school video that went epic, y'all. That video was 1 minute long, just 1 minute long. And I said, God, let me do some math, because you got me in math mode. In math mode, if I look at how many minutes there are in a full day, there's 1,440 minutes. So if this video could be so epic that it could go viral in 1 minute, could you imagine if we made that 1 minute one blessing? And what if, Broderick, by chance, we decided that, you know what, I'm going to be so intentional so that I can go viral and I can become this epic, impressive, grand, heroic, extraordinary person, that I'm going to up my blessing game. God, I don't want you to minimize blessing me just because I bless somebody every now and then. No, that I decided that I see how this formula works. Genesis has set us up for success. So what I've decided is that I'm going to bless people so that God can bless me. We have 1,440 opportunities if you wanted to make the blessing equivalent to the minute, which was equivalent to how long it took for this viral video that was so epic by this high schooler to just get on out there. The question that I have is, who are you blessing, and how frequently are you blessing people? You see, we want the blessings, but will we give the blessings? He gave us this roadmap so that we could get this thing coming into our lives, coming into our finances, coming into our health, coming into our relationships, our families. This strategy the Lord gave us in this word that has 3.9 billion copies sold. He said, baby, I'm trying to give you the keys to success. He said, but if you go through life, let me pull a little bit of Tony Robbins back in here. If you go through life thinking that you know what, but this happened to me and I'm not able to bless somebody. If you go through life with this victim mindset, you will not take control and get in the driver's seat. God is giving us the tools to get in the driver's seat. Remember, nothing has meaning except for the meaning that we give it. What meaning have you been given to your ability to help others? What meaning have you? Don't minimize the fact that you was available and you took that call and you gave them some advice. Don't minimize the fact that they needed a couple of coins and you gave them a couple of coins. Don't minimize the fact that you reached into your closet because somebody had something that they had need of. Don't minimize the fact when you bless people. It's not for you to go out and say, look, I did this and look, I did this. But when God sees it, the formula says he will bless those who bless other people. So long as God sees my blessing, don't you know that sets some things in motion for your good? Baby, the first way that you can be so epic, that you go viral, is that you got to learn how to bless people so that you can get this formula working. Let's go to the next book. The next book is Exodus. You see, Exodus, if I flip over there, I remember that this was a situation with Moses. In Exodus chapter number 14, verse 21 and 26, there was this situation that was going on. And Moses, y'all know the story. LaQuana, Moses was in the situation where over, he was at the Red Sea, right? And the Red Sea and the people was coming for them, right? And God said, look, I need you to stretch out. In verse number 21, it says, stretch out your hand over the sea. And when Moses did that, it said that the Lord caused the sea to go back, and a strong east wind all that night. What he did is he dried up the land so that Moses and all his crew could cross on over. Y'all know the story. And then it go to verse 26, and when the people was coming for them, in 26 it says that Moses was told by the Lord, now stretch out your hand again over the sea so that the waters can come back, so that it can drown all of the folks that's coming for you. Tab, where are you going in this? Where is the next strategy that you gave us? The first strategy, you said, in order to be so epic that you go viral, is to bless other individuals so that you can get this formula, this calculation in motion, so that you can get those windows of heaven to be opened out and poured upon you, those blessings that you don't have room enough to receive. The second thing that I'm telling you out of the book of Exodus is you got to be willing to stretch. You see, if Moses wouldn't have stretched out his hand, there'd be no drying up so that they could cross over. If Moses wouldn't have stretched out his hand, there'd be no water coming back so it could capture the things that was coming up after it. But let's go back to Tony Robinson. Nothing has meaning except the meaning that we give it. How are you responding when God stretches you? Ooh, I had to slow down for that one. How are you responding when God stretches you beyond your comfort zone? He says, no, Abdul, I need you to go for it. No, Jesse, I need you to try it. No, Laquana, I need you to reach for it. Baby, how are you responding? Don't you know that when you get stretched by God, that there's a reward that's attached to that thing? He's using you, but every now and then he's got to stretch you beyond your comfort zone so that you can see the miracles that can happen if you allow him to be your trainer. You see, in the book of Exodus, one of the things that we can do that can be so epic that we go viral is that we don't complain. You see, nothing, the word that we got from Mr. Tony Robinson is life doesn't happen to you, it happens for you. And if our mindset is that everything is happening to me, oh, this happened to me, and this happened at the job, and this happened with the relationship, and this happened with the kids. But oh, when you begin to stretch, you say, no, this thing happened at the job because it's making me stronger and wiser. This thing is happening with the children because it's showing me something that I was missing. This thing is stretching me. It's happening in this relationship because God is saying, I want you to go to another level. What is happening to you that's stretching you? And your mindset now has to adjust. It has to recalibrate. It has to catch up with what God is saying. He's saying, I'm not stretching you to break you, baby. I'm stretching you to bless you. So here we have our second strategy that we can pull up out of the word of the Lord to be so epic that we go viral. First, learn how to bless other people. The second thing is be willing to be stretched by God so that he can show you the miracles that he has in store for you. Let's go to the third book. I'm only going to go up to Joshua today. The third book is Leviticus. Now, Leviticus is that book in the Bible. If I flip on over there, there's one little verse. It's in chapter number 11, and it says in verse 45, it says, for I am the Lord who brings you up out of the land of Egypt. He did a reminder. You didn't get up out of there by yourself, baby. It was me that stretched you. He said, I brought you out of the land of Egypt to be your God. You shall therefore be holy because I am holy. Woo! Now, sometimes we shrink back and we say, now, Lord, you want something from me. Of course he wants something from you. Of course he wants something in return from gathering you up out of that desolate place where you were running from things and being chased by things, and he preserved your life. Of course. And what is he saying? He says, I want you to have a standard, boo. I don't want you to get caught up in the ways of the world. I don't want you to get caught up in because it looks good over there that it means it's good for you over here. He says, I want you to be so epic that you go viral. I want you to be the type of person that sets a standard and people say, man, I got to do that thing over there. I want you to get stuff in motion, and to the point where people say, you know what, if Victoria running, I'm running too. You see, the thing that I noticed in that high school video that I played for you guys, the little boy started off by himself. He didn't ask them, y'all, let's sing this song. He started off by himself. He created the standard. He said, you know what, yes, we're in halftime, and I don't know how this game is going to win. He said, but we ready. We ready. We ready for y'all. And then the other kids, what did I tell you? They started catching on, and they said, wait a minute. minute. We ready. We ready. We ready for y'all. And what I'm saying is when you become so courageous, so heroic, so impressive that you're willing to say, no, there's a standard about the way I do things. There's a standard about how I spend my money. There's a standard about how I dress and show up. There's a standard about what comes up out of my mouth. There's a standard about the people that are in my circle. There's a standard about the things that I will and will not do at work. There is a standard that I will have if you're trying to court me and get with me. There is a standard. God is showing you that we have to have a standard. I want you to be so epic that you go viral, baby. I want you to be so epic that you go viral. So the first thing is you got to be willing to bless people. The second thing is you got to stop complaining and let God go on and stretch you up out of your comfort zone because there's a miracle attached to it. The third thing is you got to have a standard that reflects the God that created you. You got to be holy because he is holy. And let's go to our fourth one. Our fourth one, the fourth one is in, it's in the book of Numbers. It's in the book of Numbers and it's in chapter number 9 and it's verse 15. In verse 15, it talks about this cloud and this fire. You know, we called it the Shekinah glory. It says, now on the day that the tabernacle was raised up, the tabernacle, it represents the presence of God. It says that the cloud covered the tabernacle. That was the Shekinah glory. And it says that the tent of the testimony, from the evening until morning, it was above the tabernacle like the appearance of fire. It was hovering over it. It says, so it was always the cloud covered it by day and the appearance of fire by night. You see what was taking place in that particular situation, y'all, is that God was saying that, look, I'm going to guide you. I'm going to guide you during the day and I'm going to guide you during the night season. And in order for you to be that type of person that is so epic that you go viral, baby, you've got to be willing to move when I move. You see, the people knew that they had to flow underneath the cloud. They didn't step from under the cloud because they realized that the cloud was their covering. The cloud was their guide. The cloud represented the glory of the Lord. So when God moved to the right, the people moved to the right. When God moved to the left, the people moved to the left. So you can't come up from underneath that cloud because when you come up from under the cloud, you're subject to get everything else that's coming up on you. And God says, in order for you to be in this position, what he's giving me through Holy Spirit, so that you can be so epic, so that you can be so grand, so heroic, so impressive, that you go viral, that people are saying, what type of God is this that she serves? Who is this that he's chasing after? Who is this that he's following? He said, I need you to be flexible. I need you to stop being so rigid. I need you to trust me. I need you to learn how to go with the flow. I need you to know that I'm covering you. I need you to know that I've got you, baby girl. I need you to know, brother, I am the cloud over your head. And in the dark seasons, I'm going to be that light to guide you through this situation. Guys, in order for us to be so epic that we go viral, we've got to be flexible. Ooh, yeah, so we got to be willing to bless other people. We got to be willing to be stretched by the Lord. We've got to realize that we must have a standard and be holy because he is holy, and we've got to be flexible. Let me give you two more. The next one comes out of Deuteronomy chapter 30, verse number 19. I'm getting so excited. It says that this word was going forth. And in the verse number 19, it says, I call heaven, and heaven is as witness to you today that I have set before you life and death, blessing and cursing. Therefore, choose life. You see, what's going on right here is God is talking to the people. And he said, look, I'm not a forceful God. I'm not that type of man that pushes himself up on you. I'm a gentleman. He said, but I want to give you these things. You get an opportunity to choose. You get an opportunity to choose. He said, you can choose life and you can choose death. Life is like blessings and death is like cursing. He says, in the end, choose life. See, if we want to be so epic that we go viral, we can't continue to make the mistakes that we know end in a result of death, end in a result of not working toward our good, end in a result where it's causing unnecessary turmoil and unnecessary trials and tribulations. What kind of choices are we making? Are we making choices that line up with blessings? God is saying that, you know what, I have this life that's lined out, and you get to pick the path because I give you free will, but choose life. You see, if we want to be so epic that we go viral, we can't get caught up on the choices that we made that weren't the best choices. At some point, you just got to cut that thing loose and say, you know what, I made a bad decision, but today I choose life. At some point, we've got to say that, you know what, life is not what happens to me, it's what's happening for me. The word of the Lord says all things work together for my good. So I got to say, you know what, I may have made a mistake, because let's go back. God, you told me to have this standard, and every now and then this holiness standard is a little bit more than I'm able to keep up with. But I love the fact that you're a forgiving God. I love the fact that you don't beat me up. I love the fact that you understood that I was going to make that decision before I made it, and all you're asking me to do is, baby, reset and choose life. You see, if we want to be so epic that we go viral, we've got to be willing to make some good choices. What type of choices have you been making lately? Let me give you the last one, the sixth one that we're going to have for today. The sixth one is in the book of Joshua. Now, you know Joshua is the one that picked up after Moses, and Joshua is the one that carried the individuals that led them into the land that was flowing with milk and honey. But Joshua was not by himself. Joshua was with Caleb, and Caleb was the one that went with Joshua to spy out the land, and Caleb was the one that also came back with a good report. I believe if Caleb was connected with Tony Robbins, you know, the other people said that they were grasshoppers over there, and the other people said that the giants in that land that God, you already said that we can have, that they're not going to let us have this land. But Caleb came back with Joshua, and he said, no, if God said that we can have it, we can have it. This thing right here belongs to me. There's no questions about it. Caleb said, wait a minute, it was in the book of Joshua. Y'all, it was in Joshua, and it was chapter, where am I at? Chapter, hold on, let me get to it, y'all. I'm getting so excited. It was in Joshua, and in Joshua, Caleb is having this conversation with God, and he says, wait a minute, God, I was there when you made this promise, and here's the thing. He says, God, I need you to give me this mountain. He said, I don't have to beg for it. God, I don't need to wonder if you're still going to do what you said you were going to do. Lord, I remember you made a promise. I aligned myself with your word, and all I'm doing now is coming back and I'm asking for it. See, if you want to be so epic that you go viral, you can't be so prideful that you're afraid to ask. God has put people in some of our lives strategically because they have what God has blessed them with, because they're supposed to give it to us. But if you won't ask, baby, you may not get it. Are you willing to ask for it? Are you willing to go and say, you know what, I've worked for this promotion, and I don't think I'm not waiting until performance review time. This is what I've done. I'm asking for the next position. Wait. No. Look, I've been faithful in this relationship, and I'm not going to beg you for your hand in marriage. This is what I've done. Are you in or are you out? Wait. No. Wait a minute. We've been in this thing for a mighty long time. I shouldn't have to beg you to be faithful. I shouldn't have to beg you to understand where I'm coming from. Are you on board or not? I'm asking for your understanding. I'm asking for comprehension of where are we at in this relationship. Wait a minute. Let me come to the children. Wait a minute. I shouldn't have to beg you to clean up your room. I shouldn't have to beg you to do your chores. I'm asking you to do this because that's what I expect of you. Wait a minute. What are you saying, Tab? What I'm saying is, when you do what you're supposed to do, you should be in a position with courage, with excitement, and say, God, I'm asking for it because you said that I could have it. You said that I am the head and I'm not the tail. So God, anything that looks tailish in my life, could you get it away? I'm asking for things that reflect that I am the head. God, you said that I'm a lender and I'm not a borrower. So God, I'm lining myself up with scripture and I'm asking for it. Give me the situation. Give me the finances. Bless me, God, with checks that come in the mail randomly. God, let me be a money magnet. Let it find me, God. Let it be me. Put me in a position, God, where I can lend. And now that takes us back, come on now, to Genesis, be willing to be a blessing. So you can't get it and then don't want to give it out. You got to realize this thing is a cycle. He says he puts you in position so that you can be a lender, not a borrower. So that means you're the one that's going to be blessed so that you can do what? Help somebody else. God, he says that you are not sick. You said, Lord, in your word says, Lord, that I will prosper and that I will be in health even as my soul prospers, God. So if there's any sickness that's running up in my body, I declare and I decree that that does not align with the word of the Lord. I don't care If they don't have a cure for cancer, I don't care if they don't have a cure for diabetes right now. I don't care if they don't have a cure for this COVID-19 that I'm struggling with. I don't care if they have a cure, if they have an answer, if they have a response. God, you are the one that created me. So if you say that health is my reward, then God, give me health. See, we've got to come in a place where we're willing to ask for it. If God said that there are promises that he put in his Bible, don't you know that there's a scripture that says the blessings, the promises of God are yes and amen. And some of the Bibles translated like this: the promises of God are yes, and our response is amen. Our response is let it be. Our response is it is so. Our response is yes, God, I align myself with this word that you've spoken over my life. If you want to be so epic, baby, that you go viral, I dare you to ask it. I dare you to ask that question. I dare you to get in the presence of God and say, God, you made me some promises, and I'm coming like Caleb. You said that you're no respecter of persons, and God, I'm asking for it. So if I take you through this little recap, you see, I told you there was this video. Some of y'all missed it. Let me see if I can get it on up for you. See, there was this video, and it started off with this high schooler. This high schooler was in the locker room, and they were in halftime of the game, and they didn't know if they were going to win or if they were going to lose. I already told y'all how the story turned out. They did not win the game, but what they cannot take away from this high schooler, what they cannot take away from these students, what they cannot take away from these young men is that they were so epic, they were so grand, they were so courageous and heroic to record something not knowing how the end was going to turn out. But let me tell you, people of God, we know how the story ends. He says all things work together for the good of those that love the Lord and that are called according to his purpose. See, we know the ending story, so why aren't we brave enough to be epic like that high schooler and celebrate like we know that the story ends in our favor? It says that that high schooler got in that locker room and he began to play that particular thing in his mind, and he began to speak it by himself. See, some of us got to get the courage that if nobody leads the way, I'll lead the way. I'm going to be so epic, Billy. I'm going to be so grand. I'm going to be so heroic. I'm going to be so extraordinary. I'm going to be so impressive that if God says in Genesis I need to bless people, that I'm going to bless them. If God tells me out of Exodus that I need to be willing to be stretched and stop complaining and murmuring and grumbling, then I'm going to stop all that murmuring and complaining and grumbling, and I'm going to let God stretch me. If God is saying in Leviticus that I need to have a standard and I need to be holy, I'm going to get a movement with his beat, and Lord, I'm going to have standard. I'm going to be holy. If God is telling me in Numbers that I'm too rigid and I need to learn how to be flexible and move when he moves, God, I'm grinding with you. I'm flowing with you. God, I'm in your season. If you say go, I'm going. If you say stop, I'm stopping. God, I'm flexible in this season. I want to be so epic, Lord, that I go viral for you. If you said in Deuteronomy that I got to be mindful of the choices that I make, but I'm going to be mindful and make good choices that lead to blessings, that lead to life. If you're telling me in Joshua that I just need to act like Caleb and ask for it, then God, I'm ready to ask for it. And all of this comes, all of this message for today, this word for today comes from me being inspired by this young man, by this young man that reminded me of the beauty of going viral. Not so that our name can be great, but so that God's name can be great as he looks at his reflection in the life that we live. So today I'm daring you to be so epic, baby, that you go viral. And I want to give you, we close out on Tuesdays. Let me go on and give you this, because I'm going to close out with this chant right here. I got, those are my sweet kisses. I give it to you every week from my heart straight to your heart. Lord willing, next Tuesday we'll be here again. But let's go out with a little bit of let's go out with a little bit of Let's take it here. Come on. Y'all hear that? Come on. Yeah. I forgot my vision. Y'all ready? Come on, live like it's your only life that you got, baby. Come on. Get your head in the game. Come on. Get your mind clear. Come on. Yes. Woo! Oh, y'all got to stand up. Some of y'all been sitting down all life. Come on. Get in your game. Bless somebody. Be stretched. stretched. Have a standard. Come on. Be flexible. Make good choices. And ask for it, y'all. Ask for it. That is our Tuesday live for the day. Y'all, I'm on replay. Y'all. I'm on replay. I am loving what God is doing. I want y'all to have an amazing day. I want you to have an absolutely amazing day. I want you to be so epic, baby, that you go viral. Go out into the life. Don't just show up. Go into the life that God has created you to live and enjoy it. Create some memories. Don't be afraid. Y'all, I want you to bless individuals. You got 1,440 minutes, 40 minutes to go viral today, to go viral in blessing somebody. 1,440 opportunities. If you were to do one of these things every minute, bless somebody, stretch, be holy, have a standard, be flexible, make good choices, and ask God for it. Whatever's on your heart, ask Him for the desires of your heart. Y'all, I love you, and I will see you, the Lord willing, next Tuesday. Broderick, y'all have a blessed day and be ready.